Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope we're all doing well. So another video today, we're going to be discussing education, the education system, and why I feel I didn't really discover true education until I was age 20. So I've been in the education system from the age of 4, starting in like primary school, up till 21. Well, I eventually dropped out of university a few months ago, which I made a video on. So if you haven't checked that out, link will be in the description. And for me, I only really feel like I've discovered true knowledge and stuff that's kind of served me in life over the last year or so. Obviously, through the school system and stuff, we have learned important stuff that has served me today, such as like your reading, your writing, basic maths, kind of that type of thing, which obviously we do all need to know, but you kind of like learn this quite early on. Within a couple of years, you can kind of get to the grip you kind of get the grips of that type of thing, and it doesn't take too long, and I'm sure like we could kind of learn that a different way. But other than that, I feel like I can't really think of like too many things that like other than those fundamental skills that are really like benefiting me today, that I'm actually using in my day-to-day life, that I find like really important. Obviously, if I was kind of studying for something specific, I wanted to go into like, I knew like the type of career, like a lot of people, if you want to be like a doctor, you study all of this stuff, which is obviously going to be really useful. Um, but yeah, obviously, I haven't exactly gone down that route, as I've kind of changed over the last year, few months or so, and knowing like exactly kind of what I want to do. But even when I kind of did my degree, I did 2 years of studying real estate. I obviously, when I did this, as I kind of explained, I kind of did it not knowing exactly what the course would be about. Is obviously my fault. Should have done a lot more due diligence in my research. But I kind of thought I'd learn a lot more about investing in real estate. That was what I really wanted to go into at the time. However, this was not really the case. It was a lot more about becoming a surveyor, something I found out that was just no interest of mine whatsoever. Um, but I found I did those 2 years, and I started a placement in the summer, and I did that for about 2 months or so. And the stuff that I was like learning there was just completely different to the stuff I learned at uni. Like I just wasn't using any of this. I'll be like, oh, this is going to be really useful. It's going to put me in like good stead for doing this kind of work on this placement, but it just wasn't the case. Like there was little things, obviously, when it comes to law and stuff, but like law's are law at the end of the day. That's always going to be, it's just set in stone, isn't it? But other than that, like all the stuff, I was just thinking about some of the stuff we learnt about, especially in that first year. And it was just like such a waste of time. Like none of it came in use. They were kind of just teaching me the things that they kind of taught, and they taught just a completely different way. And I always think like experience is by far the best way to kind of learn things. Um, but yeah, I just felt like I could have easily gone into that job without any experience, or definitely not a degree, and I would have been fine. They just taught me. I was only there, like I say, a few months, but I just it was just so different to what I was kind of expecting. I was expecting to use all the stuff I learned, but it just wasn't the case. And this kind of like got me thinking. At the time, I was like, oh, what was the point of all that? I could have literally just gone into this. There was like a lot of people, as I mentioned before, that would just did like a degree apprenticeship, and they were getting paid to be there, and the company were paying for kind of their degree, and they ended up at the same stage as me. So it's kind of just another example of how like I think like the like education system is just like it's just so bad, and I just don't think it's good for anyone whatsoever. As you can tell, I'm not like a fan of the system whatsoever. I think it is a system that is just built to kind of just make you another slave, and I think that's obvious really for anyone who kind of takes a step back and like starts to question things. Throughout being in the education system, I always saw learning. I just thought it was a chore. I didn't enjoy it whatsoever. Like going to school, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to do this, and I always thought like so much of the stuff we learned was just pointless. Even when I was young, I was like, what is the point in this? Like, there's literally no point. I was just questioning things, but everyone kind of like no one else really kind of saw it from the same thing. Um, Like while I'd be at school, I'd be just thinking of anything other than like what the teacher was saying. Like I was not in a like good class, or I was like middle. Like if I like put my mind to it, I was okay. Like I'd be like middle sets or so. I was never like at the bottom, but I was in the middle despite like putting like bare minimum. I kind of went through life like that, especially in the education system. And my mind would be elsewhere. I'd be thinking of like going on FIFA later that day and just like opening packs or playing career mode, or I'll be thinking about like which porn star I'm gonna jack off to. Like it's pretty vulgar, but this is kind of like it's the truth at the end of the day. Um, and yeah, I just couldn't concentrate whatsoever. I found it so boring and I wasn't engaged whatsoever. However, for me, this all changed when I got to about age 20. Like I say, that's when I feel like my true education did start. I discovered self improvement and I started like learning. I started learning like different things, a lot of things that I found really interesting and stuff I kind of wanted to learn from a lot younger. I started learning about how to make like proper money without like working like a normal job, about businesses, about how to get girls, how to develop social skills, how to improve my mental health, like all of this type of things that really just changed my life. And I've learned like so much over the last like 18 months or so, like that I never learned before. And like all the stuff that I learned before is just like it's nothing to me. Sorry guys. Like it just hasn't come in handy whatsoever. um and this was the education like I was missing, and I just felt like I needed it when I was young and just lost and struggling mentally, and I just was like being bullied somewhat. This is the kind of stuff that I needed to learn. If I found this stuff, and if they taught you this at school, then I would have been like so much more like happy to just go to school. Like when it comes to like learning and doing my work, doing my homework, I would have been the first one to do it. I'd be in the top set for everything because I enjoy it. Like I love learning. Like every single day, um, I'm learning new things. I'm listening to like podcasts, really educational podcasts and stuff. And these aren't just like people who you think who some people may not like and have an agenda against. Like people like top people who actually know their stuff, like Andrew Huberman has taught me a lot, like a top scientist, about like mind, body, like a lot of different things. Like he knows his stuff. um, and like I just wish I kind of had this when I was younger. Imagine like if I knew this stuff when I was like 10. If I started learning it, imagine the person I could have been today. But no, we learned about Pythagoras theorem and photosynthesis for weeks on weeks and weeks on end. For what? Literally for what? Even if you're becoming like a scientist, you probably don't even need to like know this shit. It's so irrelevant. I just thought, like I said at the time, even I just thought it was bullshit. I wasn't interested because I knew it didn't matter. And I think I've been pretty good at that through my life. Like things that people think are really important that I just know are not. I just kind of zone out. I just have no interest in because I just know it's not gonna matter. I don't need to know that type of thing. Um, and yeah, like I was just so sick of really learning that type of stuff. But since discovering this new form of education, like every single day, I spend probably an hour or two just listening to like just podcasts, watching videos, reading books and stuff. Like yeah, another example, like reading books. Like yeah, they teach you how to read, but you're reading like just a load of bullshit at the end of the day. Like yeah, it was fun, I guess, reading some of the books like Beast Quest, I think. What else did I read? Like The Diary of the Wimpy Kid. These type of books, like yeah, I guess they were somewhat fun, but I wasn't learning anything at all. Like I guess I was kind of developing the skill of reading somewhat. But I could have like if they gave us really educational books like the stuff I'm reading now, like The Millionaire Fastlane. Obviously, it probably would have been too much for me at my age. But even just some type of educational books, how to like learning about money, like social skills, mental health, like these things that they really should be like pushing and promoting at school that really are, as you see in this current generation, our current society, people are really struggling with these type of things because they weren't educated on it from a young age. And if they've kind of not found someone who can kind of teach them this, and then they're just going to go through life like this, and it's really struggling. They're really going to struggle, and that's exactly what's happening to a lot of people. This is why we see a lot of mental health problems. It's kind of like a snowball effect from a lot of these stuff, not learning about it, not developing social skills, not learning how to make money properly, just getting in jobs that they don't enjoy, all of this type of stuff. It's because we haven't learnt it in the education system, and unless you have someone who's taught you it, or you go out your way like I have done to kind of learn about this stuff, then you never learn it. And that's why I really try and push my message, because I know there's a lot of people out there who haven't gone out the way, and they don't really know where to look, and they just don't know this stuff. So I need to push that as much as possible, especially when it comes to young people, because I don't want to see them go through the same path as I went through for years of just being unhappy and not knowing which way to turn and not having that guidance. So exactly why I kind of made this channel. So yeah, the education system I just think is a load of rubbish, let's be honest, and I think anyone can agree with this if they just open their eyes. I'm pretty set myself that my children will be homeschooled. I just can't see it being any other way. Even like private schools, I don't know, I think it's pretty much the same really. It's like you're just getting taught the same conceptual ideas, except maybe it's like a better environment, I guess, and maybe they're taught in different ways. And yeah, I guess like the way they're brought up is probably better, but they're still going to be learning the same type of stuff that I just is not going to be useful. I want my child to have the knowledge and stuff that I kind of have now at like a lot younger age, and be learning stuff that's actually going to like aid their development and growth, and they can learn stuff that's really going to like help them in life, and stuff they really enjoy and they're passionate about learning. Like I want to see that. I want passion for learning, because learning is fun when you find the right type of learning and stuff you really are interested in, and stuff that can actually help you improve your life. So this is my thoughts on education, the education system, because I honestly, yeah, I just think it's a joke really, and how it's kind of been set in stone this way for so long is a disgrace, I think. Hopefully like it will get changed. I know there's a lot of people out there who want to make a change to this, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think to the education system, and if you agree with me or disagree. I'd be really interested to hear your feedback. If you could like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace, guys.